it is a wonderful experience. Now, after having integrated the school back in 1953 and having lasted for 3 years, it's nice to have it culminated in this form with an honorary degree. I would have preferred to have stayed here for 4 years and gotten it through the normal channels, but it didn't work out that way.
Well, we touched on that a little bit. I mean, talk with me about your experiences, integrating the school. I mean, what was it like for you?
How do you mean?
I guess because since we were, I guess describe to me what it was like. I mean, did you realize how big of a deal that was at the time?
I'm sure I didn't realize the full scope of the venture. As I remarked in my comments today, when my parents were with me doing registration and being outfitted for a cadet uniform, and then taking me back to the residence where I lived off campus and depositing me there and then driving off, I wondered what I'd gotten myself into. But it turned out to be one heck of a lot more than I had really anticipated. Although I knew it wouldn't be easy, it would be difficult. It turned out to be a bit more taxing and challenging than I originally thought.
Talk with me about that. I mean, what were some of the challenges that you remember?
Well, it was just the isolation of being the lone black amongst 3,000 plus students, not being able to eat in the cafeteria on campus, not being able to stay on campus, being excluded from most of the activities, and then expected to excel as a cadet, which I think I managed to do. But it was a matter of coming on campus and having to dress in another student's room to prepare for the formations and the drills that we went through. That was taxing and very inconveniencing and a little tough to take at the time. It surprised me that the students that I did change in their rooms were willing to help me out and to go along with the program, but it was tough.
And when we talked over the phone, I think you said, because it seems like there were some good memories that you had. Were you a DJ or?
Yeah, for 1 year I DJ'd I had a jazz program on WUVT, the voice of the Techman, and that was fun. And I got to make some very good friends amongst the other DJs and the station personnel. So I wound up, actually, the assistant station manager went home with me one weekend when we went over to Hampton University, and I think we watched Dave Brubeck in concert, but that station manager stayed with me and my relatives and ate with us and slept and so forth. It was kind of an interesting weekend. I mean, we couldn't go places like restaurants, but we were obviously able to get along on the campus of Hampton University at that time.
And talk to me a little bit about this, and you just can touch on it a little bit. But so after the your third year, talk with me about your military experience and I guess what happened after that third year that caused you not to graduate from Tech.
Well, just at the end of my third year, I was offered a chance to go to California, Southern California, as a representative of Virginia Tech in a program sponsored by the YMYWCA called Students in Vocation. So I flew out to California and happily interacted with a number of students from around the world, with students from France, Germany, Norway, with students from all across the U.S. And we were to live in the same environment. And the Y had rented a frat house from the University of Southern California, and that's where we stayed. The women stayed up in the front house, and the men stayed in the back house. And we shared experiences, our work experiences, and our spiritual experiences for a period of 6 weeks. And I was talked into not coming back to Virginia Tech. The directors there had talked to the directors here, and they knew about my experiences, what I had encountered. And they thought that I had gone through enough, and that what I should do was continue my education in Southern California, either at SC, Southern California University, or UCLA. So as it turned out, I got some courses in Los Angeles City College to bring my grade point average up and to go into school. But eventually I found work at an aerospace company in Santa Monica. And then I got my draft notice. So I wound up in the service.
And what did you do in the service?
I was in communications intelligence with the Army Security Agency in Berlin, Germany. 280th ASA was a group that I joined, and had one fantastic time in Germany for the remainder of my tour of duty.
And talk to me, so tomorrow, when you're walking across the stage and receiving that degree, I guess what's going to go? What do you think is going to go through your head? What is it going to mean to you and to all the people watching you?
I'm sure that a lot of the people will think it's a wonderful occasion. It's long overdue. Those are the comments I've received so far, and they pretty much mirror my comments, the way I feel about it. It's a long time coming, but better late than never. I'm 80 now, and it's been a while since I integrated school back in 53 through 56. So, but it's a wonderful day, and as I mentioned today in my comments, my big regret is that my parents aren't here to witness this event and to bask in the glory, to savor the moment, as it were. So, yeah, that's really tough taking that. That's the big regret I have about the entire experience.
Anything else you want to say? You want to make sure people know?
Not really, except I have a lot of faith and confidence in the current administration. And I think they're taking the university in the proper direction, and they have a wonderful diversity and inclusion department, and I think they're on the right road. They've got a ways to go, but I think they're doing the right thing, and I'm proud of the university.
And what do you want to say to, once again, those 107 other graduates that you saw today, and the future graduates that come in here? What do you want to say to them?
The world is theirs. They need to go for it. Set their goals, aim high, apply the same dedication that they applied getting their degree towards achieving their goals once they leave here, knowing that this is the beginning. It's not the end of the education for them, that the learning experience will mean a lot to them once they leave here. But think that they should share their learning experience with others and not give up, give out or give in. I mean, the world is theirs for the taking. They need to go out and set their mark, to aim high, and realize that many came before them and made sacrifices. And they're walking and stepping on the shoulders of those who preceded them, But they don't have any right to think any less of themselves, They're not second-class citizens. They have the world before them, and all they have to do is to grind it out, accept the valleys, with the high points, and realize that there are going to be times when they're going to be challenged. I did the whole time I worked in industry, there was always that ceiling, those that you had to contend with, who didn't think as highly of me as I felt they should, and who evidenced their feelings of bigotry and narrow-mindedness. But that's going to happen. They're still out there. They haven't gone away. There's less of that than there was, obviously, when I left school. But they've got the world ahead of them. They can make their mark and do their thing.